Now the 200,000 was separate from all the medical bills, right?
Yes. So the car insurance paid most of the bills, which is great because the plates. I have 4 metal plates in my mouth. They cost $10,000 each. Just because I broke my jaw, and then like I have the rods in my back, and it's because it's made of titanium. It's insanely expensive. I don't remember the specific number.
So you like bionic?
Yeah.
The metal is an alloy called adamantium, supposedly indestructible. It's been surgically grafted to his entire skeleton.
How could he have survived a procedure like that?
His mutation.
Good morning, world.
I'm ready when you are.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And we're here again with another People's Platform. Now, again, I tell everybody that I created the People's Platform because when I was trying to come up and tell my story, anyone who had a big platform would never let me tell a story unless I wanted to be like a minion to them, or if I had to pay them. So those are the only 2 ways I could get to tell my story. So I said, when I get a big platform where I can actually reach the world, I'm going to give opportunities to people to tell their story who wouldn't normally get opportunities from the major media or the major people without having to pay them. So I met this amazing woman from
Colonia, New Jersey.
And her name is
Courtney.
Courtney. So I'm going to let Courtney tell a little bit about herself, and then we'll get more into her story. We'll talk about everything from how how she grew up to how she got into wheelchair.
No! I threw it, and it was just.
And whatever else we get, and then we'll probably talk about a little bit more fun stuff later. But let's just start with maybe introducing yourself.
So I am 30. I just turned 37 actually.
37. When?
37 Tuesday.
See, her birthday was Tuesday, though.
29.
See.
Yes. I have a child. He's 3. Well, he's going to be 3 in October.
Okay.
Beyond Maverick.
There you go.
Beyond being a mom, I don't know. I've done so many things, but that's usually how I identify myself.
As a mom?
First, yes.
Oh,
that's
man.
like the first thing I say is that I'm a mom.
So let's start from way back. Let's high school years. High school. Now, I know a lot of people, when you see a person in a wheelchair, you automatically think they were born this way. A lot of people do. Let's start with your story from high school. In high school, how were you? Were you in a wheelchair? Were you active?
No. Okay, so I didn't play sports or anything. I was really just going to parties.
Okay.
Like any party that there was, I was there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Doing bad things I shouldn't be doing. I didn't care about school. I didn't do great in school.
And you went to high school in Colonia?
In Colonia.
Okay.
Yes.
What was it like up here? Because this is kind of like the suburbs, y'all.
But it's
like
mixed.
It is?
Very mixed. I grew up around every single kind of person.
So, alright, so I know you guys can't see the area, but the area is really, really nice. And maybe she'll give you more in the future about how she designed the house herself. But, so growing up in Colonia, you lived the average life.
I suppose. As an adult, when I look back, it was not average.
It wasn't?
No.
It was wild and crazy.
It was chaotic, and I'm alive today.
Right. And thriving.
Thanks. Yeah. But I was, I didn't care about school. I didn't care about the future. I kind of was I literally just want to have a good time. That was it.
You want to be happy. I mean, that sounds
yeah.
pretty much.
I'm talking like the motel parties, so.
As a teen.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Yes.
So, as a teen, you were born able walking and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I was born regular, I guess, if you want to call it that. And then I played softball and stuff when I was younger.
Okay.
But as I grew up, I didn't care about that stuff. So I just basically cared about having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was 19, I got into a car accident.
All right, before we get to that part, what ambitions did you have when you grew up? What did you want to be? What did you want to do? Did you have a thing that you really wanted to do?
So when I was very little, I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah. But then as I got older, I didn't care about school. I got my first C in middle school, and then it was just downhill from there. I just really didn't care.
But she still cares
Honestly.
about animals though, because if you don't see in the background, you see the big pit bull who's sleeping right now. But so you wanted to be a veterinarian,
Yes.
that went far. Then we got to high school.
That was too much work.
It was too much
That's
work.
what it was. It was going to be too much work in life. Seriously. You know?
So when you got to high school, what did it stay being a veterinarian, or did you switch to something else?
No. You know, you go to like the guidance counselor's office and they're like, let's help you plan for the future. It's like,
Right.
do I really have to do this? I don't care. There was like, there might have been 350 people in my class that graduated.
Mm-hmm.
And I was number like 321 or something for my grades.
But you graduated on time.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I just didn't
Hey.
care.
You didn't care.
No, like looking back as an adult, it's like I should have cared.
Well, you were smart enough to graduate without caring, so that you could have
Yeah.
taken further if you did care.
Yeah. I guess I just did the bare minimum. Like it's like take an elective. What's the easiest one? That's what I would do.
So was it because you wasn't challenged, or you just didn't find what you liked?
Well, and you know what too? I come from a home where my parents didn't go to college. My
Okay.
dad went to trade school. I mean, he was in the army. And my mom has maybe an associate's degree. So it's like they did push it on me, like you have to go to college. So I went to Middlesex County College afterwards. I did like the whole 2-year thing. But I was in special classes there because they make you take tests to see where your intellectual level is at. So I was literally in all the low-level classes, and the teachers would say, why are you here? Why are you in this class? You don't need to be in this class. But I am not good with taking tests.
It's a lot of people like that. Okay, so now let's get a little bit into how did you go from being able to walk and drive to this?
Yeah.
I know some people say, "Oh, it's a proper way to say." Do you say like?
No.
Do you say handicap? Do you say?
No. When it
Paraplegic, do you
when
say?
it comes to me, like if I have to use the proper terminology, that's
Right.
what I'll say. Like I am completely paralyzed from the waist down. My level is T10, so it's like on my belly button.
Okay.
But I make jokes about it.
Okay.
So I wrote a book before making jokes about all the stuff that happens. So like I believe whatever. You could say it however you want as long as it's not like racist.
So, what, is this a racist way of saying it?
Well, no. Well, yes. If I don't know you and someone's passing me on the street and they say something like that, like they feel sorry for me, yes.
So see, because a lot of people think that people, when you see a person in a wheelchair, they want to feel like you
want to feel bad.
You kind of, but you don't feel like you want them to feel bad for you because,
No.
see.
Because I'm doing better than most people in the world.
Yeah.
You
So I
know?
think a lot of people can't conceptualize that, like, oh no, you're not doing bad because this, but then you realize, no, there's people in this world, around the world, that's really like, they're out on the streets.
There's people they can't even feed their kids in New Jersey, you know?
Yeah.
And my kid has everything he needs and then some.
So how did you end up in a wheelchair?
So in 2006, I got into a car accident. But I don't remember it.
What do you mean you don't remember it?
I don't remember. I have no memory of the accident.
Do you
So
remember
it's
getting in the car?
Well, yeah, like the night. We were like hanging out,
Were you
smoking
driving?
weed. No, I was in the passenger seat.
You wasn't even driving?
No, I was in the passenger seat, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't have my seatbelt on. And I was in a Scion TC.
Oof.
Which it had like the dual sunroof.
Mhm.
And the girl who was driving was not a good driver. She had been in a whole bunch of accidents before and stuff. She sped and everything. Well, she was speeding.
Was she drinking? Or was it just...
Smoking.
Okay.
I mean, I was drinking,
Right.
you know. And there was a dude in the back seat.
And how old were you this time?
19.
19.
It was right before I turned 20. Like 6 months before I turned 20.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she was speeding. She lost control of the car. And then when she lost control of the car, we were driving on 109 by Newark Airport. Like, but in going south, in like Elizabeth, where the King's Inn is.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
By the airport.
So she lost control of the car, and the only thing that I remember is kind of holding on to like that thing where you hang your clothes from the dry cleaner.
Wow.
I was like holding on to that. Yes. Yes. And the car was going like this, and then I was on the ground. And I just
Like
remember.
outside of the car.
Yes. I don't remember
Wait.
like the car flipping, so
Did-
the car flipped, and
did-
that's when I got tossed out of it.
Did they say like you got tossed out the
Sunroof.
roof, the sunroof?
I got tossed out of the sunroof, yes. And I broke my neck, but it didn't touch my spine. So I had to wear like a neck brace, but I'm not paralyzed from the neck down because it was like a clean break
Of your spine. Like
of my neck.
oh your
So
neck.
I broke my neck,
Okay.
but it didn't touch my spine. Is
So-
how they describe it. So I
Okay.
severed my spine. Your spine is like it starts off like this. It's like a telephone cord. Mine was like this. but I broke my neck, so it's still connected.
So severed your spine but broke your neck.
Yes. Wow. So that's why I have the use of my hands. But the only thing that I do remember is that I stuck my tongue out of my mouth and my teeth were like separated because I broke my jaw.
Damn.
So I got my jaw wired shut. But they did a great job. The doctor
did an amazing job.
Well, and I only had on my eye teeth. Like, you see people, they get their jaw wired. And it's like a whole mouth of metal. Mine wasn't like that. It was literally like 2 braces.
Your teeth were still that straight and
yes.
And just your jaw was broken.
Yes.
That's
so on the bottom now, my teeth, it kind of does drive me a little nuts. You can't really notice, but if I point it out, see how they're kind of like this.
Is that a tattoo?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, so we gotta. Yes. We'll get more into the story of how the recovery process was and what happened next. But we gotta stop this to get to these tattoos because she's tatted up like a subway in Harlem. And this is the first time I've seen a tat on the lip. First, maybe you can start with the tat on your lip. Maybe show it and then.
Okay. So most people's theirs doesn't stay. So a lot of places that you go today, they will not even tattoo lips because it doesn't.
Or is the inside the gums, right?
No, mine's here.
Okay, so I can't tell y'all. Not oh my goodness.
I'll tell you what it says.
Maybe you can move up a little bit because I want them to see that the piercing is right next to the thing. I'm gonna try.
I don't know which I did.
I'm gonna try to zoom in so you guys can see it real quick. Give me a second.
Hold
Let
on.
me move it around a little bit real quick and then we'll get it back. All right, y'all. Let me zoom in so y'all can see that. Hold up. One more time. Oh man. I mean, I guess you guys could probably see what that says, right?
Well, okay, so I'm going to explain it.
And that's the next part. Let me back up right here so they can see you and you can explain it while I'm over there next to you.
Okay.
Man, this is very, very different. All right. So let me put that there and let me come on back. Okay. So before we get to the rest of your tattoos, let's get some story behind.
Okay. So basically, it says.
Okay.
Can you read what it says?
Yes.
What's it say?
It says, I can't say it on YouTube. Yes, I can.
You
It says "fic" with a U, and then it has an arrow pointed down.
No, okay. Yes. All right. So basically, the arrow is pointing at whoever I'm showing.
Okay.
So it's doing this. I don't know if you're allowed to do that on YouTube.
Oh, they could.
It's doing this. So when I do this, the arrow's pointing at you. So it's going. So like people make a joke. Oh, when you're driving in the car, just flip your lip. And mine stayed. It's like 15 years old. In my head, it was saying, now you can say it, but I try not to say it. Like, it's not that you can't say it, but okay.
I try to get this money because it gets out to more people when it's like that.
Yeah.
But basically, I thought it said "fic you."
Yeah,
so like, if it say "fic you," it can take it 2 different ways. It could be on the I don't like you if "fic you," or it could be I want to "fic you."
But it's really that I don't like you.
Okay. So what made you get it and what then? I mean...
Well, because I'm a big cursor. I've always cursed like my whole life. Just big. It's big in my family and everything, you know? Mm-hmm. So, more so my dad is like a cursor. F this, F that.
Oh, you said we was in the army, right?
Yeah. But he's always been. I mean, he's German.
Okay.
So it's just, cursing is like a way of life. So I wanted a curse on me and I put it there. Because no one sees it.
Listen. When you guys see the other video we're gonna do, that's gonna be unfiltered. She's gonna use whatever language she wants to use. But this one I want to try to get it out. So
But that's not the only one.
Only what?
That's not the only one.
It means I don't.
It's not. Wait, where is it? But you're gonna have to maybe edit it.
Okay, let me see. Oh, you got it all over. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that says "fic you" also on the right breast. So it's
and it's here.
Oh, you got it all over, but here it's in what language is this? Russian. She has it in Russian.
Go F yourself, you filthy animal.
Ah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question: as your body is filled with art, what is your favorite tattoo?
I don't have one.
What tattoo do you remember the most?
All of them. I mean, I have been tattooed by a dude from Ireland, who big old pot belly. Like I went into New York City. I
mean, not as far as like.
But so like that's really cool because I just go, oh my god, an Irish dude tattooed me and had a thick accent and everything, you know.
So I don't mean like where your experience of getting it, but do you have, or you probably saying you don't have a tattoo that means a lot. It means maybe
more than the most? No,
Okay,
because
okay,
I'm a
okay.
firm believer in spending money on them. One,
Mhm.
because you're gonna have it for the rest of your life, so you should spend thousands of dollars on it.
Okay.
And just like the experience, really is what it is. So every tattoo that I have, it means something in some way.
Right. The experience meant something in some way, or
Yes.
the moment meant something in some
Yes.
way. Got you. Okay, so let's swing back to the story. All right, so you become you get in a car accident,
Mhm.
you get to the hospital, and they tell you.
Well, okay, so they were gonna take me to Trinitas in Elizabeth. This is
Okay.
what I was told. I don't know.
Right.
But I had to be in like ICU, and they didn't have an intensive care unit there. So I had to I went to UMDNJ
Right.
in Newark, which is like the best place that you could be.
First place you should have probably went.
Yes. So the only thing that I remember from there was they wanted to cut my jeans off, and I was not happy about it. I just remember cursing, like, "F you! Do not cut my jeans."
Were you like
Oh my God.
drugged up or something? 'Cause
Well,
I mean,
okay, so what it is you're so out of it because your body's in survival mode. So
Adrenaline.
you push most of it out of your brain anyway. It's like a survival tactic.
Okay.
But also during that time, because it was 2006, yes, I was on a morphine-driven fentanyl and whatever. I remember seeing stuff coming out of the ceiling. Oh, it was bad. Yes,
That's
and
a
you're
trip.
still in pain. That's the thing.
Wait, you can like, all right, so they didn't put you to sleep when they got you, but you remember being in pain as you got to the hospitals?
Well, I'm not so much that part, but it's like after all the surgeries and you're kind
Okay.
of more coherent after
Right.
like anesthesia and whatever. So I was on a morphine drip afterwards. So you're doing this like every 30 seconds.
So when you say
No.
when you say you feel the pain, like,
Oh my God. So
explain
you're just
it
like
real quick.
laying there. And it's like, but I'm not comfortable. You're not. You're in so much pain, literally just laying there. And then you call the nurse, like, can you turn me over? And it hurts as they're turning you over. I mean, it's been so long, so I can't.
like hurts up
describe-
here
Yeah.
because you can't feel anything below your
Yeah,
waist.
yeah. And you wake up knowing. Like, everyone makes this big thing where it's like, oh, we have to tell her that she's not going to walk again. But you already realize that something is different.
Because you can't feel it.
Yeah. And you wake up and you're wearing like this brace and you're not really sitting up, and you get a brace on your neck and you're hooked up to all these freaking machines and you're on all these drugs. It's like, so just to remember your name,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
It's a lot. It's a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so they tell you, you go through the pain. They tell you that you no longer able.
My grandmother told me.
Oh, your grandmother.
It was a
told you.
task. Yes. I had
They
never.
had a. See, that's tough because here's the thing.
Yes.
They have to pick which family member can tell you that's not going to make you
Feel a certain type of way.
right.
Because they don't know how you're going to react to it anyway.
Right.
And my grandmother, she just came in the room and she sat down. And she told me. But I kind of was like, oh, well, I knew. Because of the way that you feel. It's like you already kind of figured it out, I guess.
Now I know a lot of other people are going to be thinking this. You know, I kind of know already, but I want you to tell them, or let them know what happened to the other two passengers that were in the car.
So the girl who was driving, she broke her leg.
Just the legs.
During the accident, yes. And the dude who was in the back seat, he only bumped his head and like his arm, but I remember for years, like afterwards, because he ended up dying of a drug overdose like 8 months after or whatever. So it was months, I'm sorry, not years. But he was like, that B word was hopping around on a broken leg on Route 1. So I just picture him saying it because we always joked around and stuff. So that's why I laugh at it, because I hear it in his voice. So it's been so long, I still hear it in his voice of him making the joke. Like saying he don't want to talk to her anymore. And then he's like, yeah, she's hopping across Route 1 with a broken leg, you know? I don't know. You weren't there, so it's hard to understand.
No, I fully understand. It's like when you go through
know?
a traumatic part, that certain things about that traumatic incident is going to stick with you for the rest of your life because it was so traumatic that it attaches to.
Yes,
what was
but
said.
that's why I say with this, I don't have the memory of the accident, so I don't consider it to be a major trauma. Like, I look at myself and I'm like this, yes. But because I don't remember everything happening, it doesn't replay in my mind over and over and over.
Okay, so your grandmother tells you that you're paralyzed from the waist down.
Yes.
You're gonna have to wheelchair. Now let's get into the adjustment. Going
Okay.
from being 19 years old, walking around right before your birthday, which is crazy, and now all of a sudden you have to be in a wheelchair and you're adjusting. Give us some insight to how that is.
Well,
Changing your whole life. Like,
it's weird because you are changing your whole life, but there's so much happening. Like, you know when you have a kid, and the kid comes out, and then the hospital's like, all right, time to breastfeed. It's like, yo, the kid just came out. It's literally like that. Everything is thrown at you at one time.
I mean, I never had to breastfeed my kid when he came out.
But
But
you have kids, so you
Yeah.
know, like you've seen it. And so it just is like, there's so much going on, and it's moving very quickly. So like I was in the hospital, I was in ICU for 4 days, and then I was in my own room, whatever. They moved me out of ICU, and then I went to Kessler Institute for Rehabilitation, and I was there for like 2 months.
Like staying inside there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
In the hot, like, I have my own room, whatever.
Right.
But it's crazy because you just, I don't know. It's like your new normal. But for me, it was so much easier because I didn't remember what happened. When I've had other traumas happen where I do remember it, like the dude who was in the back seat who died from a drug overdose, I could tell you that day, clear as day, because we were together right before he died. So like I don't remember the accident, but his death still affects me.
Wow.
Which is,
So
just goes to show, I guess.
let me ask this. Now that you've getting, how long did it take you to accustom your life to being in a wheelchair? And because you weren't the one driving, was there like some kind of compensation, and did that help you, or how did that help you in transforming your life to what it was to what it currently will be for the rest of it?
Okay, so what happens is, because I was in a car accident, every bill and everything goes through your car insurance first.
Okay.
So you might have like $1 million cap or else whatever. So they're going to pay for $1 million worth of things. So in my situation, I'm very lucky because normally if it's some kind of freak accident and goes through your health insurance, they're not going to pay for much like they did in my situation. So I got very lucky in terms of that. But I got a settlement. I got $250,000.
See, I didn't want her to tell you guys exactly how much it was right away.
I think it's important.
No. I wanted you to say, but see, people believe that if you get in an accident where you're like paralyzed or severely hurt, that you're gonna get this $1 million settlement automatically. That's why everyone thinks, oh, if I get on the bus and I could just get an accident on the bus, I'm gonna get $1 million. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna live my life easy forever. But you had an accident that was fully not your fault. The car was insured, the person was insured, and you had health insurance on top of that, and you only got a settlement. Now, when you say
wasn't wearing
settlement,
my seatbelt.
oh, that's the reason why?
I got a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt.
They gave you a ticket?
I got a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt in Elizabeth, yes. And the lawyer came, and my lawyer came with me, you know. But yes, I got a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt.
Did they
go to court in Elizabeth?
Did they know your situation and
I
still
think
give
that
you a
they
ticket?
I believe it's because it's illegal to not wear your seatbelt, so it was like they had to do it because of the law. But
All right, so that's crazy.
So yes, but the problem too with the settlement, it depends on how much the person has in their insurance. So like people could look at me and be like, "You should get $10 million." It's like her insurance didn't have that. You know, so it's based on what the other person, it's based on how you get injured. There's so many factors that go into it. You know, what kind of lawyer you hire. If you hire a lawyer, I mean.
Well, now the $200,000 was separate from all the medical bills, right?
Yes. So the car insurance paid most of the bills, which is great because the plates, I have 4 metal plates in my mouth. They cost $10,000 each. Just because I broke my jaw. And then like I have the rods in my back, and it's because it's made of titanium. It's insanely expensive. I don't remember the specific number.
So you like bionic?
Yeah.
Like RoboCop?
Yeah, like I go through metal detectors and it does go off. Yeah. And it could be because of my wheelchair, but it could be because there's so much metal in me. Also. Because my thighs are metal also.
Okay, so.
But yes, I did get a settlement.
How do you use this to maybe make your life easier or make it more?
So that's hard to answer because it's like You could look at someone that has money. Do they really have everything? They don't. Money's not everything. It's about you get to find like happiness within yourself, right? And the things that you do have. And then I feel like you like life more because you're very simplistic. You don't need the newest stuff, you know? Just learn to love yourself instead. But the money did last me a long time. It lasted me like 15 years. And I got an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree. My first car that I got.
Miss, I don't like school. Got all this.
Yeah, I got with all that money. I made it last for a very long time.
Yeah, but I'm just at the point you was like, yeah, I didn't like school. I didn't participate. I was sitting.
But afterwards, this is what made me be like, I want to be a psychologist. So then I went back to school. I mean, I started driving not even a year after my injury.
Wait.
Yeah.
So you drive like this?
Yes.
You have a car that you can drive like this.
Yes. And there's so many different ways. They make almost every car kind of accessible today.
And but you need no help, and you can get in the car and drive, and then.
Yes.
Wow.
And I drive from my chair. So I drive a van because it's the easiest thing.
The top part is still working.
Yeah. But even people that are paralyzed on the neck down can still drive. They just sit in their wheelchair. So you have like a bolt under your chair, and it locks in place to a thing. And that only costs $2,000.
Wow.
I did have vans before where I had a driver's seat in it, so my van has no driver's seat in it. So I make the joke that it's like, you can't steal it. Because someone's going to try to steal my vans. You know people's cars get stolen.
Right.
And HandiCap vans, they're like $80,000, okay? So people that are stealing things are stealing all the wrong things. I'm not trying to give anyone advice, but you know?
But you can't drive it without the wheelchair.
No. Wow. So someone would literally break into it and be like, I had the jackpot. You ain't going anywhere. And the thing is, the bolt that's in it, it beeps unless you put the wheelchair in it. So it does like beep.
So it's kind of like one of them things like they have when you take a breathalyzer test to start your car. Your car won't start unless you take a breathalyzer test.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, it's crazy.
So I drive from my chair in this van, but it's my fourth one.
Your fourth one?
Yes, because someone has hit me every single time.
Oh, it's not because you're while driving?
No. I used to be, now I'm much calmer.
Oh.
But, yes, someone has hit me every single time. Okay. So now I drive from my chair. So when you drive from the driver's seat, when you drive from the driver's seat, those seats cost $5,000. A driver's seat that has a motor in it. It goes back and forth.
That's nuts. Okay, so.
And then you get one that has a memory seat. I'm sorry. Then you can't turn the van on to move it because it memorized the seat. When you're driving from the actual seat, it memorized how I put it. So anyone else that tries to move the seat, the van won't go in reverse.
And all of the buttons for you to gas and stuff is on your hands?
So you have the steering wheel and then the blinker, and it's right under the blinker. I'm right-handed, so I guess that's why they put it on the left side. I don't know. But you have to do driving lessons and everything. You have to go to the DMV, take a road test. You have to do a certain amount of driving lessons. I did it through Kessler. Yeah, and there's a bar. It still has the brake and the gas, but there's a bar, and you just push it away from you for brake, pull towards you for gas. And there's a little red thing that's a horn, but I prefer to lie on the regular horn because it just feels better.
All right, so with all this stuff going on, with the getting accustomed to drive, getting the driving thing, getting getting accustomed to being in a wheelchair.
Well, and this is like, that's the shortcut of it. Because it's like, you got to come home. And most people aren't coming home to this took 8 months. So most people are, no. That's
when she says this, her home is designed for someone with in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
And everything is accessible. I won't show you guys because it's her personal stuff. But what I'm saying is that it's all accessible, like everything to it. Now, let me ask you this question. During all this time, you say, you know what? I want a kid. I had a desire to have a kid all my life. I wanted a big family with a white picket fence, and I'm going to have a kid now. That's how it went?
No.
No?
No. I didn't want kids at all. I never wanted to be a parent. No.
Was this before?
No, my whole life. I was like one of those women my whole life. Like even as a little kid, you know, women are like, oh, I picture I'm gonna get the white dress, we're gonna walk down the aisle, we're gonna have the white picket fence. It's like, ugh. I never wanted that. Never wanted that.
Okay, so So, all right. So explain the child thing. I mean, say it in a way that it seems more. I'm not gonna say it. She said.
Well, can I say it with specifics?
Say exactly. Well, no names, but yes.
Well,
say,
yeah. But
say
like,
exactly.
Whatever.
Well, say exactly.
Okay. So I was in a relationship for like 2 years.
Okay.
All right. And no, he did not wear a condom. It was just like the only person you're sleeping with.
Right.
But I never let him leave anything inside of me. Then after 2 years, I decided, sure, why not? And then I took Plan B and I had a child.
Wait, you took a Plan B and you had a child?
Yes, I got pregnant.
Wait, so you had sex?
Yes.
Did you take it within a 2-day window?
Yes.
So you took the Plan B in a 2-day window. Mine
Yes.
was like 97%
Well, apparently if you're
chance.
ovulating, the chances are lower. But I was like, I never wanted kids.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm just going to take it. And I learned.
So, all right, so Plan B doesn't work. You find out a month later? 2 months later?
Very, very early. It was like 6 weeks
Okay.
after.
And
I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way I'm pregnant. Nope, not pregnant.
And just for those who are not still aware with the timeline, this is after you had the accident. So currently,
Oh, yeah.
So you were paralyzed when you got pregnant.
Yes.
See, there's a
that it doesn't
a misconception.
work. Yes, that nothing works.
Yeah, that if it's from the waist down, nothing from the waist down works.
But it depends too. It depends on your situation. Like some men, no. Women, there's women. I don't know, but I'm fine. I work.
Okay. I know you guys.
I'm trying to put it in like censored terms.
I mean, you don't have to censor everything because when it comes to details, a lot of people are going to ask, okay, so you're paralyzed from the waist down. How do you have a baby? Because the conceptual thought of it, the baby comes out underneath the waist.
Well, a lot of doctors don't believe in C-section. They're like, they try to push you away from it. And my thing was, so in the beginning, I didn't even want to have a child because I was freaking out. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Like, I'm like this, and I don't want kids. Like, what? You know? And then my doctors really helped me. They told me, like, where to go and everything. And they made me feel at ease. So once I got everything under control, that was when I told my parents about it. And my mom was very, very nervous, which didn't really help. And my dad was very excited. I mean, they were both excited, but my mom is a nervous person.
I mean, I would be nervous as a dad.
Yeah.
That's another level of difficulty because already you're dealing with a new difficulty of you being.
You make it work, man. And it was so long after.
What made you want to switch and say, I'm not getting an abortion. I want to have.
I looked on Google, and Google was like, at 6 weeks, they have a heartbeat, and I was like, I need to grow up. And my doctors did help with it too. Like, they told me what specialists to go to and everything. But once I found that out, because I felt guilty to begin with, that I was even thinking about that. But I'm like, it's going to be high risk. Like, what if I die? What if the baby dies? No, whatever. So then when I found that out, though, that I was only 6 weeks and they have a heartbeat. That's why the abortion ban is the 6-week thing. Because once it's 6 weeks, they have a heartbeat. So it shows up.
Did the doctor say it was a different process of having a kid if you're paralyzed from the waist down? Then
they want you to have a natural birth. They want you to wait till your water breaks and everything.
So you went through the throwing up phase. You went through the
yes, but I was very lucky.
Use the bathroom phase all the time.
Well, that's like a norm in my life. So it's like you just go into the bathroom more because you already have overactive bladder from being paralyzed.
Right.
But then it's just I was only sick like in the very beginning, and then it kind of subsided. I only gained weight in my stomach. And the only thing was, at the very end, when I was trying to get out of my chair, it was hard because my stomach was like in the way. But everyone that saw me said that they were very surprised because I was literally only pregnant like right here. Wow. That's it.
How much you gain? How much weight you gain?
Not a lot.
Not a lot?
He was only 6 pounds. He was like 6'5" when he was born. But I chose a C-section.
The boy's big. The boy's big now, so you gotta act.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, this was like, I was paralyzed in 2006. And this is 2020 that I got pregnant.
So you got pregnant during the pandemic?
Yeah. And they had just signed, where you can have a support person with you.
This just sounds like it's so difficult.
It sounds ridiculous.
She got
it
pregnant
sounds
during the
ridiculous.
pandemic, which if you guys know, everything was locked up in the pandemic. Plus, the working with the HandiCap was the you consider that handicap, right?
Well, that's
with
the
wheelchair.
term, but it's like I do say, "Oh, I'm handicapped," but like when I'm calling places to raise hell or whatever, I'm like, "I'm in a wheelchair."
Okay.
Because I want to get the point across.
Right.
But I'm not offended by the terminology.
Okay. See, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
It's different random people on the street how they
Right.
address it, but you don't offend me when you do it.
Okay. So now you have the kid. Now you're dealing with this. Does
I had a C-section.
you have the C-section?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because
Okay.
that was my choice because it was the simplest option. You literally show up,
Snip,
they
snip. Yeah.
give you a whole bunch
I've
of
seen it,
whatever,
I've seen it.
you know?
Yeah.
Then they just cut it out, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really awesome. It is.
So now it's 2023 now. We went from 2020 when she had a child, to Maverick, to 2023. It's 2023 now. You are working?
No, I'm retired. I consider myself
Retired?
to be retired. Yes.
Okay, give us
because
some
I have
insight.
I get Social Security disability
Mm-hmm.
every month, and that's guaranteed until I die because I'm not going to be walking again. You
Right.
know, and then I get extra money because my child is a dependent of.
Okay.
So some people would like to make the tax argument during tax season that they can claim a child. No, he's my dependent. He will never be anyone else's dependent.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. So if you're disabled, right? And I know a lot of people might want to know, if you're disabled and you have a child, you get more money.
It depends, though. You have to be like there are people who have lupus, let's just say. They cannot get Social Security disability. It's very hard. So he's a dependent of a permanently disabled person. That's why he gets it every month until he's 18.
So being retired, what do you do when, I guess when you're home? I mean, right now you have your son and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm learning to get a life now.
this is why I'm asking, because what I'm saying is your son is 3 years old, right?
He's going
Your
to
son-
be
he's
3.
gonna be 3.
Yeah.
So soon he's going to be going to school.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans for that, and what are your plans for the next, I guess, 10 years?
I don't know. People ask me that. And it's like, I think really one of the only goals I have now is to do happy things because I did so much. I mean, I have a master's degree in mental health counseling, so I did all trauma work. I worked with victims of sexual assault, victims of domestic violence, for National Suicide Lifeline, for National Suicide Hotline. I did intakes with drug addicts to see if they could qualify for treatment. I've done only trauma work. So now, this is like the happy chapter of my life. So really one of the only goals I have is to be funnier than Dave Chappelle before I die. But I wrote a book. I mean, you know, I just like doing like silly things and doing stuff with my creativity. Like I like my friends, their kids are having a birthday. I will make a rap inside the birthday card. That's like special for them, and they be like, you can't throw it out ever.
So do you ever go to like comedy shows and watch maybe?
I used to. It's just now because of the pandemic, and then I became a mom, and I was so focused on that and everything. Yeah, that it's like I did all of that crazy stuff when I was younger. So I'm much more like I just like to be chilling now. You know, like taking care of my kid. He's very easy.
It's a lot of stuff.
I'm very fortunate. Like,
At 3 years old, it picks up, but when you get like 5,
it does. But he also, what I will say is remarkable is that besides the fact he could look and see that I'm different, if it's just me and him, he will not go up and down the stairs. If my parents are home, he'll go up the stairs. He will not go up the stairs if it's just me and him. If he's on the bed and I leave, he asks me to take it off the bed. If he's with my parents, he gets off the bed. On the couch, off the couch. When we go in public, he doesn't like run away. He stays with me. Now if there's another adult with us, he's like off and at it. It's remarkable, but I also think that it gives the child more insight because they're growing up in a different circumstance.
Different lifestyle, right?
Whereas like a lot of kids, they don't grow up seeing this.
So they never know anything about it.
No, and then they just are like this. Like 10 years old, and they're just doing this, and then their parents aren't saying anything either. It's like, okay. You know?
Alright,
I
so
think it makes them a better human, too, is what it is.
it makes them more aware of people who are different in this world.
That not everyone is the same.
Right. Alright, so we've asked so many amazing questions. Now I want to get to a little bit spicier stuff. We had some fun. And then I'm going to ask a couple questions, and then we're going to end it because this has been a great interview. So a lot of people are going to ask, when it comes to dating,
Okay.
what is it like dating in a wheelchair, and how's it been? Are you still with your child's father? Are you married? Are you?
No. I'm a single mom, and I have game. Okay. You can ask any of my friends; they will tell you. All right, like that I have game. I'm more like a dude, I guess, is what it is.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, you hear everything. You meet people that are like, they only want to be with someone like this. You know, and I'm like, you're weird, you need help, okay? And even from the time that I was paralyzed, the doctor, I still see her. She was my doctor when I was in Kessler in 2006. She still works there. She used to always say to me, you need a regular person, not someone in a wheelchair. And I make the joke, like, what if I fall? What is someone in a wheelchair going to do for me? There's going to be two people in a wheelchair on the floor. And it's like, I don't know. I don't really view myself like that.
Right.
I guess is what it is. So I think it depends on, are you confident in yourself, you know, but also like rejection's a fact of life. So I've had people say to me, oh, that's weird, I can't do it. I'm like, okay, there's billions of people on the planet. I don't care. It doesn't, that's them. That's not me, because I'm fine like this. I don't care if my hands work.
Right.
You know?
Alright, so if y'all guys want to hear more about the dating situation, y'all make sure to go check out the video that's going to be millennial dating from the single man perspective, because we're going to have a deep conversation about that, and it's going to be more freely speaking and however you want to feel. So I appreciate you for doing this interview. Thank you so much.
This is great. Thank you.
It was an honor, and y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for the next People Platform. This has been the People's Platform with your boy FRE$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way and
Courtney.
Alright, so I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace. Good morning, world.